I just want to offer my formal apology to those of you that say, hey man, your show is a little bit too on edge for me. I don't know if it's for me. My apologies. All right, let's start the show. Welcome to the Classroom Brew podcast. The teacher podcast is a little bit like drunk history. But wait, do you guys actually drink while you record episodes? Yeah. Actually. Yeah. Yeah, good. Starting off real good with the setup here. Everything is all over the place. Here we go. All right, welcome back. This is Classroom Brew, episode 74 now. And wow, this is yet another video podcast, so you're welcome. I've got my shirt on, so enjoy that. I match my logo, the background logo there, and I'll tell you what, for Brian and Lauda, who were hating on my cup, my plastic cup, when I was drinking my liquor, this time I've got a glass one for you. Now, is this Miller Lite in my glass? No, but it's a cool-looking glass. This is that tall one that I was telling them about. Not you guys, but I was telling them. And I've even got a lime, and yes, I put ice cubes in it. I know, everyone that loves beer is going to say, what the fuck are you doing? But it is what it is. All right, let's see. Let's get this going here. Yeah, so it's just me in studio. Brian is not here. Other Brian, producer Brian. So just me today, so that's good. And I guess let me just start off this episode with a little disclaimer here. So let's set the mood right here. All right. For those of you that claim that my show, Classroom Brew, the podcast, is a little bit too edgy, a little too much to it. Maybe the stories, maybe it's the language. It's an explicit podcast. So I just want to offer my formal apology to those of you that say, hey man, your show is a little bit too on edge for me. I don't know if it's for me. My apologies. All right, let's start the show. All right, so there was this video that I saw. It was at the PD for the teacher coach position that I'm taking on, and there were these guys that one of the teacher coaches had like an earpiece and a microphone, and she was talking into the ear of the teacher, and I was thinking about it like that. Oh, so you want the teacher in the room to murder their coach? There's like, if I were to do it, I'm picturing like a golf voice, you know, like you're trying to coach them in real time. So mid-lesson, there's someone in the back, and they're on a microphone like, all right, move to the exit ticket now. Yeah, so there's a student in the back corner. He's got his hand up. Check your 6. You've got a student that's on their phone. Yeah, if you look over there, there's someone cheating on the test. I noticed someone that's not really engaged in the lesson. Maybe you should go over there and give them a little bit of encouragement. That was not a good question to ask them. The actual answer is not C, it's D. When we're going through this, think aloud. You're actually really fucking this up right now. I gotta tell you. Maybe I should just go up there and do it. This voiceover in your ear must be driving you crazy. It's like ASMR. Pop, skitty, pop, skitty, pop, skitty, pop, 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 pop. That would be me. I would go insane. If I had someone in my ear the whole time, just pop, skitty, pop, 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 skitty, pop, skitty, pop, skitty, pop, pop. I'd be like, shut up. Stop it. That would drive me insane. So honestly, like if you were going to do that, I guess, but I'm not trying to hate on someone's strategy. If that's what they think is useful, they want real-time coaching, fine, whatever. Not every lesson is going to be perfect. Maybe they want the pedagogy, the teaching strategy to improve right then and there, or they have like a good idea. Me personally, sometimes I get annoyed if someone's in the room and they jump in when I'm going through something. Like maybe I'm giving the historical context because I teach history, and they jump in and do something and they get on a tangent, and it's like, hey man, I had this lesson good to go and I was kind of timing things out. I only wanted to spend 5 minutes on this. Now it's taken about 10. Thanks for that. But I was just thinking about that. Like, when you know, too, that when it's happening, first off, classrooms are not that big. Maybe just go and take a moment and just whisper in their ear, just like, hey, you might want to try this. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm a human. You're a human. That sounds good. But instead, you've got someone with an earpiece doing their little golf voice. Unless they aren't, like, they're just like, yeah, you got a kid over there. He's not really engaged in the lesson, man. You should probably try this question and get him involved. Like, there's got to be some sort of, that would drive me insane. Like, yeah, that wasn't a real good pedagogical choice. Maybe you should have let that kid go to the bathroom there. I'd be like, shut up. Switch back to your golf voice. That's just me. So I saw that and I was like, that would drive me insane. Like, hey, we're not Peyton Manning back in the day with Tony Dungy in our ear. Like, watch the safety, Peyton. Watch the safety. That's not what's going on here. We're teaching, which made me think like, hey, it's not going to be perfect every single time. I had a professor in grad school. Her name was Julie, and she would always say, "Get it to good." Now, granted, we were student teaching, we were surviving, we were just getting used to the day-to-day grind. That really is probably the biggest adjustment you have to make when you're learning to teach. And that was her thing with our lesson plans, because it's this day-to-day grind. It was get it to good. It's not going to be perfect every time. But if you get it to good, then you know you're going to survive. Your kids are going to learn. It's going to be fine. And then in year 2, 3, whenever, that's when you can start to hone it in and, really improve it and make it perfect or close to perfect. Nothing is truly perfect, right? These things, by the way, are just to keep my mic cord a little bit more stable. If you've noticed the blue things on here. So along with not being perfect, I guess that's kind of the theme of this episode. I don't have someone in my ear, thank God, every single day. But this unit, I'm trying to focus more on discussion for my students instead of just writing and, having a teacher-led discussion, like asking them a few different questions and trying to gauge them and challenge their thinking a little bit. I'm trying to have more student-to-student discourse on different topics. And I think initially I was nervous about it because it's not something I really had practiced that much in student teaching. I also had a very different student population when I was student teaching versus right now in my actual first job in year 2. And I kind of realized, I think it was originally because I was nervous. It was kind of a shortcoming on my part. I wasn't comfortable, pulling away. I would do project-based. I would do presentations for students. But I don't think I was comfortable with silence at the time, which is weird because you'd think after working in a hospital for a few years that you'd be very uncomfortable with a lot of things, including silence. But I am very excited. I'm not doing like an exam. I did the little bit on writing a fake test, but I'm not doing that for this summative, the end of the unit assessment. Instead, I'm going to have students they have 2 options. They can either present a case study on social stratification, inequality for a different social group or whatever group. This could be based on race, economics, religion, sex or gender, whatever they find interesting. But the other option, aside from a presentation, because that seems like a pretty standard thing for a teacher, is leading a discussion. So they have to come up with an article. They have to find 4 or 5, kind of mince it down and take the best parts of each one and make it into an excerpted article. So a little literacy strategy there. And find a 2, maybe 3-minute video max, and then submit discussion questions to me so they can lead the discussion. So I've got to kind of help them along that. There's going to be a couple prep days, and then instead of it being at the end of the semester, it's going to be peppered in. So some days I'm doing the history, other days we're talking about current events in a student-led discussion. And they've already gotten a model of that because I opened up talking about Jussie Smollett, the attack on him in Chicago, and if it was a hate crime, and the response from the White House, the response from other people in the media, and it went really well, and it set up everything perfectly for, here is a model of what I want you to do once you are leading a discussion for your final project. A lot of them were struggling so this is not at the end. Well, it could be if you sign up for that day. on the schedule, if you look at the calendar, there are certain days, but we'll go over all of that. That was, by the time this episode comes out, I will have done that Monday and Tuesday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is the prep day, and then by Monday, hopefully, we'll be gearing up for our first couple of presentations. So very excited about that. I'm kind of, I'm already very student-centered, but I'm trying to incorporate more of that student voice, and not just in having discussions about what I think is pertinent to talk about with content, but they get to pick the stuff that we bring into class, which is, I'm very excited about that. So a little bit of a drink break. But yeah, we'll see. It's not going to be perfect. As with everything in life, right? Which reminds me of this. If you are a podcaster listening to this, I have to recommend the element of, just doing it live, not editing. You kind of have to when you're doing video, right? Because you can see if there's a cut in there, unless it makes sense. Like maybe you switch to a segment, or maybe it was like something you recorded earlier or later. But really, it kind of forces you to just sync your audio and then just let it go. And that was something that when I was an earlier podcaster, not that I'm like a veteran right now, it's only been almost 2 years. I'm comfortable with that silence. I'm comfortable with it being not perfect, or not having, a perfect, like, snappy episode. Hopefully this one is, pretty entertaining, but I'm more comfortable not just, on a microphone, but also on camera. And that's good. And I think we're getting a little bit more support. So I should thank Joe Dombrowski. He shared a couple of my things to kind of, spark the audience a little bit. I really appreciate that. If you haven't checked out his stuff on social media or on YouTube, it's really funny. He does stand-up comedy. So really the perfect mix. And maybe we could even get him on Classroom Brew. But I'm hoping to see him live when he comes to Chicago. It was really cool. Because he had reached out to me and we were talking and stuff. And I really like the content he's putting out, the positivity. So I really appreciate the support from Joe. And hopefully I can do the same for him. Not that I have the same poll, but I hope that I can kind of, I guess bounce ideas off of him as well, and kind of keep each other going, because he certainly keeps me motivated with the content the content he's putting out. So, and that reminds me, on a PD day, Michael, I don't think he really watches this, but I'm just sitting in his room. We were working on some stuff because we're switching to a new gradebook system. And Michael was my co-teacher last year, but this year he's doing science. And so this guy, a good buddy of mine, but he comes over and he goes, "Oh, you want to see our class mascot?" And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Like, you get a pet or something like that?" And he just, boom, he lands down. There's this dead cat, one that was for, like, dissections, just in a bag, just... And he just slams it down, just like, what the hell is this? What are you doing with this dead cat, man? Why is this, like, put it to rest, or dissect it, utilize this disgusting resource. It makes me sad. Like, Katie's a really big cat person. I'm a cat and dog person, so that made me sad. And apparently, the school at the time had over-ordered on dissected animals, or animals for dissection. So at one point, there was just shelves and shelves and shelves of dead frogs and cats and God knows what else. I think I did a bullfrog when I was in middle school. But I was thinking about, like, oh, God, could you imagine just like, hey, where are the new computers we ordered? Oh, you wanted computers? I thought you said dead cats. What does it even cost? Let's see. Cost of a dead animal for the purpose of dissection, which, just by the way, I could never really do science for those purposes. Just the whole time I'd be like, oh, it's nasty. Dissection animals. Let's see how much that costs, because if they have a surplus, I want to know, all right, how much did this mistake cost them to just have all these dead animals? Let's see. Preserved specimens. Oh, you can get 2-day shipping. Oh, you can do it on Amazon. No way. Cat, frog, rat, pig. Let's do the Amazon one. Low price dissection animals from Amazon. Oh, these are the tools. I'm sorry. Oh, these are medium specimens, though. So you can get, on Amazon, you can get a specimen set from Zoology, 6 medium specimens. It includes some sort of a fish, then a crawfish, and it looks like a bullfrog for $15.90. What a steal. Oh my God, maybe we should get some of these, huh? Make that an episode. You can get an octopus, a 6+ inch. What? Am I going to wind up with 24-inch octopus? A 6+ inch octopus specimen, plain in wet pack, $24.95. Not eligible for Prime, though. I don't know. I need that 2-day shipping. There's a fake frog. Oh, just imagine, like, if you're teaching, like, I don't even know the process. I remember doing it, but dissection. It's the first suggestion as I type it in. Oh, there's this guy from 2014. Today we're going to go over a very basic dissection of the title is Basic. Bullfrog dissection basic. Like a basic bitch or something. Let's jump ahead. He's got an overshot. I wonder if he paid on Amazon to get this bullfrog. Yeah, it's just stiff. The animal, he's just lifting it, and it's just. This is an incredibly adapted and specialized membrane. Oh yeah, specialized membrane, huh? I can't teach science, man. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's go front legs. This would be me. So, yeah, he just basically cut the mouth of this, and he's peeling it back. Just imagine me doing that. Like, all right, kids, we're gonna. God. He's putting a pin in it to hold it back. All right, kids, so now just take the disgusting skin you folded back and. Nope, not touching it with my finger. He's not even wearing gloves. How's he? Oh, great, there's barbs. This poor frog. Peeled it back. He said peeled it back. No, don't be pulling. No. God, and there's organs and stuff. Okay. Oh, he's using pin. I'm not even looking, and I'm just disgusted by this. I remember there was the brain part, and if it were me, I'd just be like, all right, kids, now if you look at the cerebellum. So gross. It's not my thing. Imagine if this was a cat. Oh, the lungs are like black. Oh, God. All right, kids, if you notice on the specimen, we're going to call it that to dehumanize. Well, they're not human, I guess, so we're just going to depersonify this thing. Not to shit all over science. It's not my thing. What did you just pull out of? I remember when we did the, I think it was the frog. I don't know if frogs. Yeah, I think they had a female frog and the frog was pregnant. That would just make me sad. Like, oh man, like the movie in the scene from E.T. when he's like trying to save all of them because he has empathy. Rest in peace, Pepe the Frog. Oh God. In other words, I could never really do a dissection as a teacher. That would just, that's really gross. Oh, there's a mid-roll on this one. Oh, okay. Cool. So it's a Kia commercial. Expect more for the big game. Hey, you're Kia. You're driving a car, a Kia brand car. Relax. Give it everything. Yeah, that's just relax, man. You're Kia. There's nothing special about it. Like you could say that about anything. Like throwing out the trash. Give it everything. Notice I'm not a commercial. Doing the dishes. Give it everything. I said that about Trump's comments on Jussie Smollett to my kids to kind of get them. One of my classes was kind of struggling to make the leap from did he say enough? Would you have expected more? Should he have said anything after the attack on Empire Star's Jussie Smollett? If you haven't checked it out, it's a pretty controversial issue. It's likely. I mean, I hope not. It doesn't seem like they've made as many steps. There's not as much surveillance video. But it's basically a hate crime. He is a gay black man, and he was attacked, and the attackers yelled, "This is MAGA country," which is Trump's slogan during his presidential campaign. And the actual comments from Donald Trump, he just said, "It's terrible. It's terrible. It doesn't get worse. Real bad. I've seen it." I was like, you could say that about anything, because he said that, and then he transitioned into talking about building the wall. It's unrelated. These were not immigrants that attacked Jussie Smollett, likely. And so I was kind of pointing out, well, one, he didn't talk about the fact that they said MAGA. My other classes, they picked up on that right away. Like, he didn't even address it. I was like, yeah, I know, it's kind of controversial. But he goes into the issue of the wall, and I was like, let's go back to the part that he does address, the attack on Smollett. It's terrible. I've seen it last night. It's terrible. Doesn't get worse. Could say that about anything. Hey, did you see the Bulls traded Bobby Portis, second-round pick, and I forget the other player last night? I've seen it. It's terrible. Last night. Doesn't get worse. Oh, yeah, did you see the game the other day? I mean, they beat the Nets, but yeah, I saw it. It was terrible. Doesn't get worse. I saw it last night. You could apply it to anything. Anything at all. So I was pointing that out, and they got a good kick out of that. Then they started, jumping in like, oh, did you see the homework from last night? It's terrible. Doesn't get worse. Last night, I saw it. Nothing worse. So that was kind of fun. They had a little bit of fun with that. But yeah, right before I came over here to record, I was going to go to the gym like pretty early. I didn't wind up getting there until about 11 a.m. Because, hey, Lauda and Brian, you go to the gym at 4 a.m.? That's too early. That's way too early. There was a comment on Instagram where Brian from the Lazy Teacher podcast, he posted like the timestamp at 5:30 or something like that for his workout. That's when my alarm goes off, and I get to school by about 7 a.m. and then school starts at about 8. I don't teach till 10. And he's already working out. He's already mid-workout, maybe even done by the time I'm waking up going, oh, my God, how many times should I hit snooze today? And so Lauda was like, this is awesome. Like, it's motivating me or something like that. I'll have to find the thing in there. But if I had my phone on me, that would really help. No, it's MIA now. Oh, I found it. And my only comment was no. Granted, joking, but it's too early, guys. I can't pull that off. Let's see if I can find it in a timely fashion. Well, but anyways, when I was, going to the gym, I saw this guy, and I go through the locker room, use the bathroom so that I don't have to interrupt myself mid-workout. And there's just a guy just plain sight, nothing on him, not a stitch on him. And he's brushing his teeth at the locker that he's got. For context, the sinks are not anywhere near the lockers. They're like around a wall, and there's a bunch of them. You have to go a little bit further down. He's too far away. So this guy is butt-ass naked. And I go, I do my business and stuff, and then I put some stuff into my locker, and then I go out to work out, and then the water fountain's pretty full, so I go, I'll go back. There's a water fountain in the locker room. So at this point, it's been about 5-10 minutes. Guy's still standing there. He is still brushing his teeth, and he is still butt naked. Change your life, man. Come on. Also, don't do that. Thank you. Let's see if I can find that comment, though. That was unreal. Oh, and then here's the other crazy part, too. This is where it gets even worse. How did I almost forget about this? This is the best part. Guy's brushing his teeth. And then, I come back because I'm mid-workout. I already got my water. This is about 30 minutes in. I usually take off the hoodie, and then I switch into, I just have, a T-shirt or something underneath. So I'm putting my hoodie away so I don't have to carry it around. And guy is still butt-ass naked, but this time, in the same spot, he's doing his deodorant. Just one arm in it. Like, no switching over to it. No, just one arm. He hasn't moved. Still nothing, not a stitch, nothing. Doing his deodorant. He might as well go back to brushing his teeth, but still, he's standing there. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And then by the time my workout was over, he was gone. He was actually just gone. He wasn't still there, This time he's putting his one sock on just repeatedly, doing a pet egg on his feet or something sick like that. Change your life, man. That's awful. Don't be doing that. It's unruly, truly. None of us want to see that. This guy, that's the ultimate confidence, by the way. Like, he just does not give a shit. And he's just standing there, just doing his thing in his armpits. Doesn't matter to him. For easily 15, 20 minutes. Hey, if it takes longer than 2 minutes to do anything, to get ready after the gym or before the gym or before work, it's too long. It's too long. It's too long. Oh, that's it. So Lauda, all she commented was, yes. And I just went, no. But I was kidding. So that was fun. Anyway, I don't know. I think we're good. I think we're good for a week. If you haven't already, make sure rate and review whatever app you're listening to. I don't think I said it at the beginning because we don't need it. We'll just dive right in, man. But rate and review whatever app, whatever podcast player. Videos go up on YouTube as well as twitch.tv/classroombrew. Usually we put a bit link on social media, but if you want to reach us, we are at classroombrew, no spaces, on Twitter and Instagram. You can check out my other appearances on other podcasts as well as all the episodes of Classroom Brew on Podchaser. So if you are curious about Ryan Michael himself and where he's been, I've been on a couple of different podcasts. I'm going to be on a couple more pretty soon. I'm going to have a few podcast hosts come on to Classroom Brew. Pretty excited about that. Make sure if you want more exclusive content, you go to patreon.com/classroombrew. Again, there's exclusive content, and if you want more full-length video podcast episodes, you can check that out there. What else do I usually cover? Oh, yeah. If you are a teacher of Instagram, we're doing segments periodically where we are highlighting you. So if you would like to be highlighted on the show, we can do a phone-in recording. Not too long, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Mitch Meehan, he was the first one. I probably mispronounced that. Sorry, Mitch. We can do it remotely or we can do it in studio. It's up to you. So other than that, classroombrew@gmail.com or at classroombrew. That's the best way to reach us. Make sure you check out other great teacher and indie podcasts around the world. #TeacherPods, Lazy Teacher, Too Much Scrolling, and Keep It Lit is a really fun one. Mouse and Weens, they make me laugh, so that's always a good one. So check those guys out. They are pretty awesome. So that was all I had for this week. Thank you so much for listening or watching. If you haven't watched this, if you're listening to it right now and you aren't watching, go to YouTube or to Twitch. But until next week, class dismissed.